Hello and welcome everyone to the week ahead commodity report, where we of course will be reviewing the markets for the week ahead. Historically, the second quarter has always been considered one of the most lucrative periods of the year for commodity traders, and so far that trend, it's certainly living up to expectations. Traders are pumping more money into commodities right now than at any other time in the last decade, capitalizing on the biggest macro themes driving the markets, from rapidly surging global inflation, rate hikes, geopolitical risk, and sector-wide supercycle that continues to present savvy traders with an endless flow of back-to-back trading opportunities to generate huge profits fast. With inflation surging at a red-hot pace across the world, it's no surprise that commodities, they are outperforming every other asset class to firmly position themselves on track for the biggest price increase on record in over a century. Data released last month that showed that US inflation is now running at its highest in a generation, with consumer prices rocketing by a whopping 7.9% from a year ago, which is the biggest annual gain in over 40 years. According to Wall Street, the actual global inflation figures, they are likely much higher than being reported, with economists at Goldman Sachs convinced the real numbers are now in the double digits when taking into account soaring energy and food prices. Historically, when inflation accelerates at a red-hot pace, so does the price of commodities. So far this year, commodity prices across the board, they have been on an absolute tear, racking up double to triple digit gains. Oil prices, they soared above $130 per barrel to hit their highest level in a decade, whilst gold prices, they extended the parabolic rally from just under $1,800 per ounce to a high of $2,070 per ounce, just $5 short of an all-time record reached in August of 2020. The bullish momentum, that's also spilt over into other commodities, with aluminium, copper, lithium, platinum, palladium, uranium, zinc, coffee, wheat, lumber prices all blasting through all-time highs. Elsewhere last week, US natural gas prices, they hit a 13-year high of $6 and have doubled since the start of the year. That spectacular surge in prices prompted traders to increase the bullish calls for prices to soar further and hit $10 by the summer. Meanwhile, nickel prices, they still remain the star performer of 2022, with a blistering gain of over 250% in a single day to register the biggest one-day move ever seen in the history of commodity markets. In total, 27 commodities, ranging from the metals to the energies to soft commodities, they have tallied up astronomical gains so far this year, and this is just the beginning. According to Goldman Sachs, we're still only at the first innings of a multi-year and potentially decade-long commodity supercycle. Looking ahead, more big moves comes on the horizon next week, with inflation continuing to dominate and drive the markets. The biggest macro event the traders will not want to miss out on, that will be the US Cpi inflation data. That reading is expected to show a record-setting gain of 8.4% in March, which would be the largest year-over-year jump in consumer inflation since the early 1980s. All in all, the evidence is mounting that a new commodity supercycle is well underway. Goes without saying that commodities, they're definitely one of the most lucrative and exciting asset classes that are a must-have in every portfolio. Banks, hedge funds, they are making multi-billions capitalizing on the week-to-week opportunities across the commodity supercycle, and it's not so different for the retail market. The majority of our clients at the Gold and Silver Club, utilizing our proprietary research-driven trading approach, have already made in excess of 6 and 7 figures so far this year, and we're only 4 months into the year. Here are just some of the testimonials which have been flooding in from our clients, sharing their successes and achievements. Whichever way you look at it, the case for commodities and a well-diversified portfolio has never been more obvious than it is right now. So with that, let's move over to the charts and we'll talk you through exactly what we're looking at here as we head into next week. So firstly, for those of you that watched our commodity report last week, we talked you through this setup in detail with the metals and also energies this week too. So on Friday, we took the opportunity to bank over 800 points profit on our gold positions that we've accumulated in the last week, banking into strength, taking some of those profit off the table. As you can see, we've closed right at the weekly highs, right at the end of the week. Friday rally into the close. Gold price is closing at $1,947 per ounce. So for that calculation, over 800 points that we banked last week on just gold alone, every one lot contract, that equates to $8,000 of profit every 10 lot contract that you'll be trading, that's $80,000 of profit. We of course talked you through this over the last couple of weeks, all the opportunities to then buy back in every time gold is getting back down to accumulation zones, area of liquidity, and then take advantage of this range bound price action, bank into strength as you get a rally back towards that 1945, 1950 zone. This has been the playbook certainly over the last 3 to 4 weeks here with gold, as it remains range bound. However, going into next week, now we want to see if we're going to get that additional follow through and break out back towards the recent swing highs that were tested over the beginning of March. If we move over to Palladium, Palladium spiked 11% to the upside there on Friday. We also saw platinum later in the session catch a bid, breaking out over 1.5%, and silver as well also started to break out on Thursday. Further follow through on Friday as well. As you mentioned to you last week on the reports, typically this time of year is favorable for the metals in the lead up to the Easter weekend. So essentially you've got a shorter trading week next week. You've got 4 trading days. Then we're moving into the Easter weekend, where on Friday majority of markets will be closed, and during this next week typically that can be positive for the metals and energies going into next week. In fact, the setup there was perfect last week on crude oil. We sniped into both WTI crude oil and Brent crude oil last week, in fact, with our traders on our live trading room on Thursday. Within 24 hours, that trade was up over 400 points profit on WTI crude oil, and Brent crude oil was up over 350 points. So essentially, just within the matter of 24 hours, we were up 750 points over 2 positions on the energies, alongside banking, of course, over 800 points. And this is what we mean. There's so many opportunities day to day to take advantage of this range-bound price action, especially as we continue to move through the commodity supercycle. Commodities, they're not going to go up in a straight line. So this is where you want to take advantage of these corrections in price coming back down to favorable levels, areas of liquidity where you can then sniper in, get in at the lows, and then take advantage of the next slingshot move higher again. Great example of that, obviously Palladium over the last couple of days here, breaking out on Friday, over 11% move to the upside. So now I would definitely keep platinum on the radar going into next week. Absolutely silver as well, which started to break out on Friday too. Obviously gold, which has played out exactly to expectations here. For those of you that have been watching our regular reports with respect to gold, everything has played out over the last week. Another breakout back towards the upper end of the range, and we got it absolutely spot on with respect to energies as well, catching the low there on Thursday before we rallied over 400 points. As we enter a new economic climate, the importance of having an essential income generating skill like trading, it has become a must-have necessity. If you want to actually reach your long-term financial goals in these rapidly changing markets, then you can't just stockpile cash in a savings account, because rapidly surging inflation, that will erode your wealth and purchasing power. Instead, you need to make your money work as hard for you as you've worked hard for it. With that said, there's no surprise that commodities have firmly positioned themselves as one of the most exciting and liquid asset classes, which continue to present savvy traders with unlimited opportunities to generate huge profits fast. Extraordinary times, they do create extraordinary opportunities. Right now, these markets, they are a trader's paradise. Banks, hedge funds, they're making multi-billions capitalizing on the super cycle, and it's not so different for the retail market. The majority of our clients at the Gold and Silver Club are utilizing our proprietary research-driven trading approach. They've already made in excess of 6 and 7 figures so far this year, and we still have another 9 months left to go. If you've been kicking yourself for missing out on some of the biggest trading opportunities so far this year, and you still want to make 2022 your best year yet, then you still have time. If you take action now, we're seeing one of the greatest wealth transfers ever in history. The time to start making money in the commodity supercycle is right now. One of the biggest obstacles that holds 95% of retail traders back from achieving their desired success, it's not having access to professional trading strategies and institutional level data and market intelligence to make confident decisions with accuracy in these highly profitable markets. If you follow the wrong strategy, or worse still, if you lack access to the right data at the right time, you'll end up wasting lots of time, money and effort and have no results to show for all of your hard work. If you want to thrive, not just survive in these highly macro-driven markets, you need to adapt and utilize a professional research-driven approach. Having access to the right data at the right time, that is the single greatest difference between ordinary and extraordinary results. trading like every other misguided retail trader out there, using outdated technical analysis or gimmicky technical indicators, that will not work. As traders, we have a superior advantage to capitalize on every highly lucrative move fast, no matter if the markets move up, down, or sideways. You need to know exactly when to buy, when to sell, but also more importantly, which asset class to focus on and when. The greater your data and intelligence, the greater your edge in navigating these fast moving markets with superior levels of precision, confidence and profitability. We still have another 9 months left to go of this year. Never underestimate what you can achieve in the next few months from now with the right guidance and mentorship. You can always give people the right skills, knowledge and strategies to transform their financial future. One thing you can't give them back is the time they have lost. Time is the most valuable commodity we have. Make sure that you don't waste it. If you want us to help you achieve the same level of wealth and success as our clients at the Gold and Silver Club, then there is an opportunity for you to join our professional mentorship program. As a member, you get access to our exclusive live trading room webinars. You get access to our real-time trade ideas, institutional research and market intelligence, access to our private Members Academy website, and also support and one-to-one mentoring. For more information, just go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. The link is also below this report in the description, so just click on the link, make an application, and we will of course get in touch with you ASAP.